Today we're gonna do tofu to a sticky, plum and crispy chicken. The tofu that I'm using is very firm and it's almost like it has a skin on it. It's also very thin and they come in 12 in a packet, and I use 7 for the sticky plum and the 5 pieces I use for the chicken like fingers. One would squeeze the water out by putting something heavy on top of the tofu to squeeze out the water, but this tofu was very dry. I just rinsed it and I pat it dry with the cloth. So in the bowl I already have 2 tablespoons of creamer. You can choose whichever creamer you want to use. I actually used a chili one. And then a tablespoon of sesame seed oil, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I added 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. You can add an extra one if you want more salt on your tofu, because your other ingredients won't have any extra salt. And then I added a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcester sauce. It's so funny. And then I just grated 2 cloves of garlic in there as well, and with a good mix, and the smell was so delicious. I then added the little cubes that I made with the tofu, and I added to the marinade, and I gave this a good mix for a few minutes so that they're all covered, and then I let it sit for about 30 minutes. You could prepare this in the evening and then just finalize it the next day. While that was marinating, I took the other 5 pieces and I sliced it up in little strips. And with these, I will now make my, you can say, fake chicken. It tasted actually, it had the texture of the chicken, and yeah, so that's what we're gonna do now. Making the spice coating for the fake chicken. So we're gonna start out with 5 ml of dried basil herbs. And then we're gonna add a teaspoon of ground ginger, and then we're gonna add a teaspoon of garlic powder to that mixture in a bowl, and then you're gonna add a teaspoon of dried oregano and a teaspoon of cumin, fine cumin, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a teaspoon of 7 spice. But let me say about this mixture, if you were used to making chicken, just use that same mixture that you used to make yourself fried chicken when you used to eat fried chicken, and just mix it with some flour. This is obviously also a gluten-free recipe. And then you just add your spices together. And then I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5 heap tablespoons of chickpea flour, and I know I added what was it, 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour, or if you have maizena you could add maizena also. And I just gave that a good mix. So this will be for my coating before I fry the little pieces. There was some flour stuck in my spoon, so it looks like I had extra flour, but I didn't. And then I just threw half the flour mixture on a flat plate, and I kept the other half in the other half of the flour in the bowl still. Now I'm gonna make the water mixture, which I use 2 tablespoons of chickpea flour and 1 tablespoon of tapioca flour, and I just pour in water slowly and mixed it. I don't know why I don't have a picture showing you what I was doing. Yeah, but then I just pour the water in slowly and mix it so that it's not a thick paste, but just a nice paste to cover the the tofu before we dip it into the dry spice flour. And there you go. Mix a little bit, and then mix another little bit till you get, this is about 120 mils of water. And I thought I would only need half the water, but I ended up using the whole 120 mils of water, which means I just got the right consistency. It's almost like a pancake mixture. So it's liquid but thick enough to make a cover for the tofu, to cover the tofu like an egg mixture. Remember to add your salt, because I never added any salt, but I would actually add the salt to the liquid mixture and not to the dried flour mixture. And then you're gonna just wet it basically, and then you're gonna lay it out in the plate and cover it completely. Once it's completely covered with the flour, you're gonna then fry it in a pan. You have the option of deep frying it, but my tofu was already so dry. I don't know, it was just a very firm tofu. I just did a quick fry in the pan. What you could also do to make coating easy is just put the dried flour in a little jiffy bag, and then just put all the pieces and shake it, and then you'll get an equal covering of them all at the same time. I don't know what I was doing here, but anyway, I was covering it. Okay, so once your oil is warmed up in your pan, you're gonna then place your little chicken fingers, tofu fingers in the pan, and then just fry them on each side. The pan is still, the heat is still high, so at this stage you could actually lower your heat, because the first batch came out nice and golden brown, and the second one, a few of them burned because of the flour. That falls off the little fingers and then creates a coating in the pan. And here we are. They actually look like chicken fingers, if I can put it that way. Okay, so next is we're gonna finish off with the plum. Sticky plum tofu pieces. They've been marinating for about 30 minutes, if not more, and then I'm just gonna quickly pop them in the air fryer. Mine came out a bit dry because I put the air fryer on to 15 minutes. If you're gonna use an air fryer, I would say just do it for about 10 minutes or 5 even, because you just want to seal in that marinade, or you can pop it in your oven, but I bet you're gonna have a different tofu than mine. While the tofu is in the air fryer, we're gonna get the sticky plum sauce ready. And I found this sauce by accident, because I went in to go get liquid smoke. But anyway, I just grabbed this bottle, and only when I got home I saw it's actually vegan. So this is about 3 to 4 tablespoons of plum sauce in a pan that I heated up. And then I'm gonna add I'm gonna grate a piece of ginger in it, and then just cook it like for 30 seconds. And when by now the tofu is ready to come out of the air fryer, and then I'm gonna mix the tofu into the sticky sauce. So I've grated the ginger, and I'm just gonna let the sauce and the ginger cook together for about 30 seconds or so, and then we're gonna take the tofu out of the air fryer. That's already ready. You can see it's gonna be like plum, puffy, but they're actually quite dry. I think I left it in too long. And then we're just gonna add that to the sauce and then switch the plate off and mix the tofu through, and you'll see it will become very sticky, and then it's ready to be served. I just sprinkled some sesame seed over it, and you can serve this with basmati rice. It gave me the feels of Christmas, so we'll very likely gonna have this for Christmas, the plum on your gammon, that kind of feel. So yeah, this just mix it a little bit, move it around, and you'll actually see that the sauce will get less and less. And then you just dish it into your plates or on your serving dish. I sprinkled some mint over it, but you could do spring onions and sesame seeds. Fingers I served with a barbecue vegan mayonnaise. So it's just vegan mayonnaise that I added liquid smoke and paprika.